I'm Claire Walker.
And I'm Tyler Anderley.
Today, we're going to teach you about the expectancy value theory. We're going to give you the definition, a good example, a bad example, show you a case study, show you a YouTube video, and explain to you why the expectancy value theory is important.
Before we get started on our presentation, we're going to show you a quick video to explain the expectancy value theory.
Expectancy value theory. Expectancy value theory is based on 4 assumptions. Number 1, people will seek to confirm their self-image. Number 2, different activities afford different opportunities to confirm or contradict one's self-image. Number 3, people tend to value activities that confirm or provide opportunities to confirm their self-image or that align with long-term goals more than those activities that do not. Number 4, people are more likely to engage in tasks that have higher subjective value than those that have lower subjective value. This theory recognizes that one's culture, context, and history play a role in what people expect, what people value, and how they behave. In this model, social context is perceived and interpreted by individuals. The way these inputs are digested in a way influences how the individual sees his or herself, which in turn influences and is influenced by the types of goals and expectations one has for the future. These goals, expectations, and values then result in behaviors. For example, what task will I choose to participate in, and how hard and how long will I try? Individuals who do not see an activity meshing well with one's personal identity, one's culturally defined role, or with one's goals tend to choose not to participate in it. Whether or not the activity is valuable for the student's academic or personal success is not the issue. It is what the student perceives as the value, and the expectation of how likely one is to obtain that perceived value is what matters. The big idea here is to take each student's perspective when designing tasks and think about how each one may answer these questions. Why should I do this? Am I able to do this? What will I gain if I succeed? What will it cost me if I fail?
After watching this video, we hope you have a better understanding of what the expectancy value is before we start. The definition. The book defines the expectancy value theory is theorists propose that motivation for performing a particular task is primarily a function of 2 variables. First, learners must believe they can succeed. In other words, they must have a high expectation or expectancy for their task performance. Second, learners must believe that they will gain direct or indirect benefits for performing a task. That is, they must place value on the task itself or on the outcomes that are likely to result. After reading the book's definition, we came up with our own, and that is, the expectancy value is a theory where the behavior of a student's motivation is based on how much a student believes they can succeed and the benefits they believe that they will get out of a task.
This picture gives you a better understanding of the expectancy value theory. In the expectancy value theory, there are 2 parts, expectancy and value. Expectancy is defined as the degree to which an individual expects to be successful at the task, and value is defined as the degree to which an individual values the rewards that accompany that success. In order to have high motivation, you need to have high expectancy and high value. Without one or the other, a student's motivation is going to be low. Some ways to raise expectancy would be to promote a safe learning environment. If a student feels comfortable in your classroom and enjoys the class and enjoys the teacher, the probability of their expectancy is likely to increase. Some ways to raise value would be to give rewards. Rewards can be material things, such as candy, stickers, or ribbons. Rewards can also be psychological, such as no homework or free time.
This case study is over middle school science. This study looks to see if there is a link between students' science self-perceptions and interest in science. They used latent class analysis to describe underlying differences in ability beliefs, task values, and linked these to science, self-perceptions to interest in science. The findings suggested that there is a positive relationship between students' science self-perceptions and interest in science, which is consistent with previous research. The relationship was similar regardless of gender or ethnicity. Despite study limitations, self-perceptions should be considered valuable because leaders have influence on both learning activities and a student's sense of self as a science learner. The results underscore the importance of preparing teachers to help students to learn more in the future.
Here is a good example of expectancy value theory. Sarah is a 7th grade math student who loves math and regularly places in UIL number sense. She gets along with her teacher and classmates very well, and her grades reflect her love of math. Your student's behavior will let you know what they are motivated and not motivated to do. You will have to work on increasing their motivation to engage in positive behavior and possibly on decreasing their motivation to engage in negative behavior.
Here is an example of a bad behavior. Johnny is a 7th grade reading student who enjoys his teacher and classmates, but has little interest in reading because he has dyslexia. He is very well behaved, but his grades do not reflect his behavior. Therefore, Johnny has little motivation. Because of Johnny's disability, nothing seems to motivate him. He doesn't care about getting good grades. He takes no pride in his accomplishments. He doesn't care about free time or stickers or positive notes home.
Whenever a student has no motivation to do something, you should try to determine whether the lack of motivation stems from a lack of value, a lack of expectancy, or a lack of both. What these explanations fail to take into account is that if the student does not believe that he can succeed, which is very likely in Johnny's case due to having dyslexia, his motivation will be very low.
That wraps up our presentation today. After learning about the definition, a good example, a bad example, and the case study, we hope y'all will have a better understanding of the expectancy value theory.